Hello everyone, my name is Victoria. As always, I'm really happy to see you here. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit chatty because I'm kind of tired of all those book hauls, wrap-ups and so on, and I have wanted to make this video for a really long time. And I also am making this because I want to engage you, and later you will understand in what way. So what we are going to talk about today. First, I want to show you my book bingo. This is just a regular sheet of paper where I printed 12 books that I want to read in the next half of the year. I know it would be more logical to show you them in my summer reading plans or my mid-year check-in, but I just created it like a couple days ago and I'm too impatient to wait for the next video to show this, so I'll show you today. Then I will tell you what books in which language I prefer to read and why I choose to read a specific book in a specific language. We'll mention why I in some way hate English editions, and in the end I will compare Ukrainian, English, and a couple Russian editions. I got some from the public library and some I got in my physical library. So the way I want to engage you is I want you to tell me what you prefer, paperbacks or hardcovers. What do you think about English editions? And also, if you like the Ukrainian editions, I want to show you, and which you prefer, the English or the Ukrainian one, because some of them look, actually not, all of the ones I'm going to show you today look very differently. So I really am curious about your opinion. So don't watch this video without commenting it, because I really want to discuss these topics with you guys. About my book bingo now. I watched a couple videos where girls did that. I like the idea, but I created my own one. I might cheat a little bit because I put here only the books that I'm almost sure I will read, but also I want this paper to make me read those books because I have wanted to read them for a very long time. When I finish one of these, I will let you know in one of my other videos, and then in the end of the year when I do like a check-in tag or whatever it's called, I will just let you know how I managed this bingo thing. So what I have here is a dystopian book, a science fiction book, a 500 plus pages book, non-fiction, I want to start new series, a book that will make me cry, a book about war, a really popular book, a book that has been on my TBR more than a year, a historical fiction, a memoir, and Azbuka Big Book, and that's just the edition in which I read classic literature. And I do understand that some of these might be the same book, like a 500 pages book can make me cry and it can be a start of a new series, but the thing here is I want all of these be different books. Books in these series almost always have more than 500 pages. That's why I mentioned it separately, because I want this to be a different book. So I want to read this one and then also read a 500 plus pages book. I hope that makes sense for you guys. Now I will tell you what books in what languages I choose to read and why. We'll start from English. So first, I read almost all the romances in English because I find them easy to understand, and that's the type of literature which I take and can have a rest even when I read in a foreign, for me, language. Then if I'm really interested in a book but it's not available or it has not been translated into Ukrainian or Russian, I will take it in English because I just don't have choice. And that's what happened with Elsie Silver's Chestnut Springs series. When I wanted to read those, they were not even translated in any of those languages, so I bought them in English. And that's also romance books, so I did like them, I did understand them, and I'm happy I can read those in English. Sometimes I just take a book to try and see if I can read it in English, and that's what happened with Kazuo Ishiguro's Clara and the Sun. For some reason I thought it would be difficult for me, but it wasn't. I liked the language, and when I took another book by him which is called The Remains of the Day, it was even better. I loved the language and the style, writing style of the author so much. It was incredible. I highly recommend that book. And another small thing you need to know is when I start reading books by one author in one language, I cannot switch to another language for some reason. As with Kazuo Ishiguro, I don't want to read his books in Ukrainian or Russian now. I want to read them only in English. And the same thing happens with the series. For instance, I have instances for almost everything I'm going to tell you about. So for instance, Bear Town series by Frederick Backman. I read first two books 2 years ago. The third book was not available. It was not even released, I think, at that point. And then in a year after that, I moved to Canada. And the third book, The Winners, came out. I saw it here. It was everywhere in the bookstores. I really wanted it because I wanted to know how the story continued. So I got it. But guess what? It has been sitting on my shelves without me reading it for a year now, and I don't even look at it. So I am planning to buy all the three books, the whole series in Ukrainian, reread the first two books, and finally get to read the third one the following winter, I think. But yeah, for some reason that's what happens. If I start reading one author or a series in one language, I cannot switch to another one. I also re-listened to The Fourth Wing and the Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros in Ukrainian. I wanted to try in English, but as I did that in Ukrainian and as I'm planning to read the third book in Ukrainian as well, I just cannot, my brain works this way and I cannot switch to another language. I think these are all of the reasons I choose English books, and now let's move on to Ukrainian ones. First, why I read and why I buy Ukrainian books is I want to support Ukraine. I want to support Ukrainian publishers, and I personally think that Ukrainian editions are just stunning. They are gorgeous. They are very beautiful and very well made. And if you could read in English, I would recommend those, but you cannot. But just know that I really love Ukrainian editions. By the way, my previous video was an Ultimate Ukrainian Editions book haul where I bought and showed you 20 books in Ukrainian. So if you're interested, go check that video out, and don't forget to like it and comment and subscribe if you like what I'm doing here. I sometimes buy Ukrainian books if I like the edition more. If I look, for example, I understand I can read the book in English, but I look at the Ukrainian edition and understand I like it more, I will probably get the Ukrainian edition to support Ukraine, because it will be easier to read for me and because I like the edition more. So what I get is almost all the contemporary fiction on my shelves is in Ukrainian language, unless it's not translated into Ukrainian, then I have it in English. And the third language I read in is Russian, and I mostly read classic literature in Russian because for some reason I cannot perceive classics in Ukrainian. I don't know why, but I just prefer classics in Russian, and I find classic literature too hard to understand for me in English. I also really like the editions of classic literature in Russian. I have 3 different types of books, 3 different editions in which I collect all of my classic literature. The first one is this one, really small hardcover. This is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. They all look the same, just with a different illustration right here. The second one is called Azbuka Big Books, also look the same with a different illustration here. This is The Meal on the Floors by George Eliot, my favorite edition ever. And then the third type is looking like this, with beautiful flowers here and there and on the edges, and also there are flowers on the pages like this. This is Lady Chatterley's Lover by David Lawrence, but this is just a random book in this series. I plan to collect all the Jane Austen books and Bronte sisters books in this series. And the second reason I can buy a book in Russian is if I understand I cannot read a book in English and it's not available in Ukrainian, like all the Jodi Picoult books and Jonathan Franzen books. They are not available in Ukrainian. I don't want to read them in English, so I collect them in Russian editions. And now I want to tell you about my pain. When I came here, I was planning to collect all my library in English, like all the books in English. I was ready to learn the language and try to read every single book, even classics. But when I looked at the editions, like, first of all, paperbacks are extremely popular here. It seems like everyone prefers paperbacks. Let me know what you think. I'm really curious about that. If you prefer paperbacks, let me know why. I need to know. I do like paperbacks. I do like read my romances in paperbacks. But if it's a classic book, for example, I want it to stay on my shelves for years. And with a paperback, it is possible, but it will not look the way I want it to look. I know there is a hardcover option for almost every book, but let's be honest, it's way too expensive first. And then I want to compare. I have only one book, hardcover in Ukrainian with a dust cover. I will compare these two books. They are totally different, but I just want you to see what I mean and why I don't like hardcovers in English. So I chose the book that you haven't seen. It's Chances Are by Richard Rousseau. A very beautiful book. I really like this cover, but this is a dust jacket. I don't like dust jackets because, yes, I understand that they keep the book clean and safe, but if you take the dust jacket off, we'll take this off. I know you guys probably know, but it's just a plain book with only the letters, like the name of the book and the author here. It's just a plain book. I don't want to put this kind of book on my shelves because it looks plain. So it is very beautiful with a dust jacket, but if I want to take it off, I don't have anything to look at. And this is what I just hate. You can throw spoiled tomatoes at me, but I hate this thing about English editions. Let's look at the Ukrainian edition. I have Shantaram by Gregory David Roberts here. This is also a dust jacket. Also very well done. There are a lot of books by one publisher with dust jackets, and I would want to show you, maybe I will show you if I find the pictures, how the book looks with the dust jacket and how it looks without it, just to compare. But if we look at this one, this is how the book looks without a dust jacket. Yes, it's black, it's just this edition, but I can put this kind of book on my shelves. It's not just plain. It has a name right here. It has some picture and it has some text here. So it's just like a regular book. If I don't like a dust cover, I can throw it away and keep a beautiful book like this. So in Ukrainian editions, dust jackets are not that popular. They are, as I said, in one publisher's case, but all the other books are just a hardcover itself without a dust jacket. And I love these kind of books. They are not common here at all. So my pain is I don't want to collect all my library in paperbacks because I know those books will not live for years with me, or if they do, they will not look the way I want them to. And I hate English hardcovers. I do buy them sometimes, as I said, when the book is not available in Russian or Ukrainian, but I don't like them. I really prefer Ukrainian or Russian editions, and I just realized at some points I want to collect my library in those languages. So this is how the things are right now. And now finally, let's compare the editions I have here. First, I will show you the editions from my library and then the ones I took from a public library. Please, in the comments, let me know, give me your honest opinion, what you think about all of these books. The first book is The Paper Palace by Miranda Cowley Heller. This is a paperback edition. This is how it looks in English. I like it. It's really beautiful, and it's very comfortable to hold in hands and read, probably. So I really do like it. And then the Ukrainian edition looks like this. It's a hardcover because the paperback it does not exist. There is only a hardcover in Ukrainian. So this is how the books look. And then I will also show you the back. In this case, honestly, I prefer the English edition. But as I said, this book has been sitting on my shelves for too long. I realized probably I don't want to take it because it's in English. That's why I got this one. This is the inside of a Ukrainian edition. Also very comfortable to read. Next one you have probably seen in my previous video. I hope you watched my previous video. It's Dear Edward by Anne Napolitano, English edition and Ukrainian edition. Again, the paperback in Ukrainian does not exist. So this is a paperback and this is a hardcover. This is how the edges look like. And this is the back. As I haven't read these books, I cannot tell you if the cover matches the content of the book, but with this one, for example, I remember it's about the plane that crashed. So there is a plane right here, and it does tell me at least something here. I can see only the birds, so they don't tell me anything about the content. That's why with this one I can't say which one I prefer. Honestly, I like both, but probably this one is better for me again. Next one is easier to compare because they are both in paperbacks. It's A Fine Balance by Rohinton Mistry. This book is very, very heavy and it's not convenient to read because when you open it, it closes. So it's not convenient to hold it. You have to put your finger here, and with a heavy book like this, it's not convenient to read it. And then the Russian edition looks like this. It's also in a paperback. Why? Because in this case, it was not available in hardcover. As I showed you the Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, it's the same edition. This is a hardcover, this is a paperback. I prefer these for sure, but this one was not available and I am sure I will not be able to read it in English, so I got this one. And in this case, 100% I prefer this one. It's bright, it's easy to hold in hands, it's very lightweight, and I don't know, I just prefer this one. Let me know what you think. This is the back of the books. And you can see like this one is much smaller. But again, I am sad that this one is not available in hardcover, and if one day it will be available, I will definitely get it because it also does not open very easily and it will not be in good condition for a very long time. I like books being in good condition. Next one you might also have seen in the previous video is House Rules by Jodi Picoult, and this one is a good comparison of hardcover books. The previous ones were paperbacks and these are hardcovers. I also have a Russian edition here to compare. So let's look at this very closely to understand the difference and why I hate English hardcovers. So this is a hardcover. First of all, it's really huge. The Russian edition looks like this. Can you see the difference? Like, this book is much smaller. It's much more convenient to read it. Then this one has a dust jacket. The Russian one does not have a dust jacket. And under the dust jacket, what do we get? Just a plain book. Nothing interesting. And look at this one, the Russian one. It looks really pretty. Let me take this off just to show you the book, how it looks from both sides. So this is how the book looks. Nice, right? I haven't opened it for so long, and it has like white pages. I prefer this one for sure, like 100%. Let me know what you think. First of all, I hate also another thing I hate about English hardcovers. They are all huge. Why do you always make those huge books? Like, you see what I mean? And then the last book I have from my own library is Cutting for Stone by Abraham Verghese. I also want to take this off to show you how the book looks like. What a beautiful book. Oh, I love it. Cutting for Stone, Abraham Verghese, a paperback edition. Nice one. Yeah, it's this one I think might stay in good condition for pretty long, but it's still a paperback. And then the Russian one looks like this. It's like very soft touch, and it's a hardcover. What do you think? Which one do you like more? Would you like to have this one on your shelf? Be honest with me. For me, 100% this one wins. I also took a couple books from a public library to compare them, but I cannot take the dust jackets off, but you can still see the difference. The next two are also both hardcovers. It's The Color Purple by Alice Walker. This is the Ukrainian edition. This one is pretty plain, and as you might have got it, I don't like plain books. So between these two, the English one definitely wins for me. These is how they look. And I definitely love that this one has a picture of an author on the cover, because it kind of makes me closer to a book and the author. I don't know, I just love seeing how the author of the book I'm reading looks like. I also love that this one is not a huge hardcover, so probably I could buy this one. I didn't know that this exists because I saw another one in a bookstore, and if I could find this one I could probably buy it, but it might be difficult for me in English, so I'm happy I have this one. Next book I also showed you in the previous video, but only the picture, and now I got a hardcover from the library. So again, two hardcovers, we can compare them. The 9 Lives of Rose Napolitano, Donna Freitas, and this is the Ukrainian edition. They look very different, but both have kind of cut flowers on the cover. And you know what? Here I cannot decide which one I like more. I definitely prefer the smaller one and the one without a dust jacket, but as to the cover and the picture, could not decide. So let me know what you think. Let's compare these now. You see the difference in size? This one would be much easier and more comfortable to read. You know what? In the Ukrainian edition, I probably don't like the blue color. For some reason, it does not look good for me with all the other colors. While here, black, white, and red combine very well. So I'll probably go with this one. But it's still huge, so as to the size, I would go with the Ukrainian one. And the last, I'm going to show you books by Alison Weir. I have 3 different books by her in Russian edition, and I took one from the public library in English. It's Jane Seymour, The Haunted Queen, again by Alison Weir. I don't have this particular book in my Russian editions, but I have others. In English ones all look the same because it's the same series, just with a different woman on the cover. And these are the Russian ones. First is The Marriage Game, a book about Lady Jane Grey. I'm not sure how it's called in English, and Lady Elizabeth. Together they look like this with brown, it's not edges, right? It's called some other way. You got it. Okay, this is how they look all together. And let's now compare them with the English edition. So this is the English one, this is the Russian one. Again, you can see the size, you can see the thickness, although the number of pages is probably the same, it still looks different. This is the back. Definitely Russian ones, because these are so heavy and so big. I don't like them. This was everything I wanted to chat to you about. I hope you will really comment this video and we will talk and discuss all these different editions. I myself love comparing the editions. I'd love to make a video like this again. Let me know in the comments if you like this type of video, because it was not something usual on my channel. And thank you for watching this video till the end. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for your support and for just spending this time together with me. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.